Friendlies are pointless, right? Why bother watching or analysing them when nothing we see ever seems to matter once the season starts? Well, not exactly. Friendlies are actually a great chance for managers to figure things out. They get to see who fits in, who doesn't, and most importantly, they get to test new ideas to fix problems from last season. Still not convinced? Just check out the video we made last summer about the Real Betis friendly. That 4-2 narrow build-up and the use of double tens. We saw those exact patterns during the season and they first showed up in that game. So yeah, friendlies can tell us a lot more than you might think. And even if you don't agree or you simply didn't have time to catch the game and see what Arne Slot is cooking up, don't worry. As always, we've got you covered. We're breaking down what we tried in our 3-1 win over Yokohama, looking at potential issues that could come from it, and, of course, picking out the top performers from the match. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get straight into it. As always, let's kick things off by looking at the starting lineup. This one was probably the closest we've seen so far to a full strength 11. Mamardashvili started in goal with Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate as the centre-back pairing. Connor Bradley took up the right-back spot, while Milos Kerkez started on the left. In midfield, we had a trio of Ryan Gravenberch, Dominik Szoboszlai, and Florian Wirtz. Up front, the attacking line featured Mo Salah, Cody Gakpo, and our new number 9, Hugo Ekitike. Now, since we were here, we might as well start by talking about how the Frenchman was used. If you've watched our video on him, you'll know he's a bit of a hybrid between a classic striker and a false 9. That means he can drop deep to help link the play, but also knows how to time his runs perfectly and attack the space behind the defense. Let's break down a quick example of that while also explaining how we set up in this game. Here you can see us building up in a 3-2 shape with Mamardashvili acting as the extra man. And while we really like the idea, it's hard to say it will work just as well when the real tests come. That's mostly down to the level of pressing from the opposition. In this exact moment, our keeper was able to find Gravenberch with a simple and direct pass. It looked clean and Mamardashvili handled it really well. But let's be honest, pulling that off in the Premier League will be a lot tougher, especially against teams that press aggressively and don't give you that kind of time on the ball. From there, Gravenberch is able to turn and face the play, driving forward with intent. Even though he ends up losing the ball, it's Ekitike's movement and smart positioning that keeps the attack alive. With a simple flick, he sets up Bradley, who receives the ball facing forward and bursts into space. That moment brings us back to something we talked about at the end of last season, especially in our discussions about how a player like Frimpong could be used. It's all about having that dynamic presence out wide who can take advantage of those quick transitions and support the attack at pace. When we build up using a double pivot and the goalkeeper steps in between the centre-backs, we're basically inviting central pressure. The goal here is to create more space for the fullbacks to receive the ball out wide. With players like Kerkez, Frimpong and Bradley, who are all comfortable driving forward, we expect this to become a regular feature in our play next season. But that wasn't the only familiar pattern we noticed, both in this game and during last season. Take a look at the positioning of our fullbacks in this sequence. Bradley and Kerkez both tuck inside, while Gravenberch drops between the centre-backs. Kerkez even goes a step further, attacking the space behind the opposition and almost taking up a midfielder's role. This helps us overload the midfield while also using our fullbacks to bounce passes from inside to outside areas. Sound familiar? If you've been following us for a while, you'll remember we spotted this exact shape in our analysis of the Brighton game last season. It creates something close to a midfield diamond, aiming to cover all 5 lanes and create combinations in tight spaces. In these situations, the fullbacks play a big role in setting the tempo, especially when we move into the final third. And while that can definitely be effective, we also think it could lead to a few problems. Let us explain why. Take a look at Bradley's positioning in the right half space here. He's perfectly placed to make those typical runs in behind, the kind that help give Salah more space and time on the ball by dragging defenders away. Even after making that run, Bradley doesn't stop and instead he shifts wide to join Salah, combines with him and helps push the tempo by playing sharp, incisive passes back inside. It's a smart and effective approach in the final third, no doubt about it. But it could come at a cost. This is the exact moment we lost possession. And as you can see with our fullbacks pushed high up the pitch, look at how exposed we are during the transition. Szoboszlai, who isn't a natural number 6, struggles in these kinds of situations. Don't get us wrong, he's excellent at counter-pressing and making those immediate jumps. But when he's playing as a 6, he often gets stuck between two decisions. Does he jump to press, or does he hold his position and cover space? That's exactly what happened here. He was caught in between and ended up being poorly positioned. Then there's the second issue, which is the structure of our rest defense. Now, leaving Van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate alone at the back isn't a problem in itself, but they have to be in a proper flat too. In this case, they were positioned in more of a one-to-one vertical line, which leaves far too much space for opponents to attack in transition. Now, to be clear, this isn't something to panic about. But if we keep leaving ourselves this open in the Premier League by pushing the fullbacks that high all the time, it could end up costing us during transitions. Some of you might be wondering who our best players were in this game. And if you've checked online, you'll know that Florian Wirtz was named man of the match. But we're not going to talk about him just yet. No, why? Because we've got something special coming on our potential new number 7, covering his performances across both of these first two friendlies. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Aside from Wirtz, Ekitike, like we mentioned earlier, was solid. He offered good passing options and made some really well-timed runs in behind. In the second half, Frimpong brought his usual flair down the right and even grabbed the assist for Nyone's first ever goal for the club. Curtis Jones, who played a big role in Wirtz's equaliser, showed again that Arne Slot is planning to rely on him, especially if we're looking to invite pressure in deeper areas. And finally, Rio Ngumoha. He also scored his first goal in a Liverpool shirt and brought exactly what we expected. Tenacity on the ball, relentless carrying, and pure energy. The youngster looked electric and fully deserved his goal after 2 really impressive performances on this tour so far. So yeah, overall, there's a lot we can take from this friendly. It might still be early days, and we're obviously not the finished product yet, but some of the ideas Arne Slot is working on are starting to show. The way we build up, how we use the fullbacks, the off-the-ball movement, it's all clearly being worked on. Players are being tested in new roles, and some are stepping up already. There's still plenty to improve, especially when it comes to defending transitions and keeping our shape when we lose possession. But that's what these games are for. It's about learning what works, fixing what doesn't, and getting sharper with each game. But now we want to hear from you. What stood out to you the most in this game? Do you think Slot is on the right track with the system he's trying to build? And how do you feel about some of the individual performances? Anyone surprise you in a good or bad way? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.